So there's a wonderful urban legend surrounding this church. Let's see if you can see it. If you look in this window, particularly the window to the right, you see the outline of a man? Legend has it that during the explosion of 1917, the deacon was standing in front of this window and the flash was so extreme that it permanently emblazoned his profile on that window. Another urban legend that I heard is that a sailor's head went sailing through that window. Now those are great stories, and I love a great story. However, the truth is, yeah, that looks a little bit like a human being's profile, but I don't think either of those is true. But isn't that part of the fun of visiting a city and hearing the lore and the legend of the area? A deacon, a sailor, who knows? It's fun to look at. I am going to try Dirty Nellie's. When I was here during the winter, this place was so busy I couldn't get in. So let's give it a try. This place is so loud, even with the microphone, I bet you can't hear me. But I made it in, found a place to sit. So hopefully we have good food. So I'm guessing the items that are boxed are their specials. The seafood chowder. They have pretzels. There's one whole box around that whole section, so we'll take a look in a minute. I don't come into a pub to have barbecue ribs. One of my favorites is shepherd's pie, so I might go with that. Bangers and mash? We'll see. It's not root beer, it's Smittix. So the first course is a seafood chowder. It looks delicious. Good fresh seafood, scallops, very creamy, very, very good. So here is the shepherd's pie. Really good, but really hot. Calls for a cold drink. Let me start off by saying that the pub was really good. Dirty Nellie's was top notch. I gave it an A+. Had a festive atmosphere. The food was excellent. The server was attentive. But a weird thing happened to me. I got in and there was a table that was all set. It had a tablecloth that said, "Happy Retirement, Kenny." And the waitress came up and said, "This table is reserved, but it won't be reserved until 7:45. Well, it was only a little after 6, and I'll be out of there by then. So as I was eating, more and more people started coming in. And there was a picture frame of Kenny. He looked fine. He was wearing dress whites. He was in the military or Coast Guard or something. And people were signing this picture. It had a frame around it. And, like a cardboard, what do they call that? I can't think what it's called right now, but that little cardboard frame around a picture. And they were passing it around, and someone thrust it into my hands while I was eating, and they said, sign Kenny's picture. And there was an envelope in there, and it had some cash in it. So I took $1 out, and I put it in the envelope, and I signed Kenny's picture. I said, "Have a happy retirement. Couldn't happen to a greater guy. Signed Mark." And I put $1. Now, it was probably the only American money in that envelope. So Kenny is probably going to get the picture and look and reminisce with all his friends and have it sitting on his fireplace or something. And he's going to wonder, who was Mark? And that'll be one of those interesting things that will provide him with a great amount of joy as he starts to think who Mark was. And he'll wonder who gave him that $1 American dollar. So behind me is the USS Sackville. It was a World War II corvette commissioned in 1941 and engaged with many U-boats during the war. And it's been restored, and I think we can go aboard. The sign said welcome aboard, but I guess they didn't mean it because it says ship closed. But we can get a pretty good look. As a matter of fact, I could probably jump across that. It's only about, I don't know, 5 or 6 feet. I'd probably get in a lot of trouble though. The last thing I want to do is get arrested in a foreign country. I'm telling you, I could do it. It isn't that big of a jump. And if I miss, what's the big deal? It's only water. I think it's really great that they're keeping these ships preserved. I mean, it's been over 70 years since the war ended. This one was commissioned in 1941. And they've restored it, and they allow people to go on board. The sign says, come aboard. The sign of the gangplank says, stay off. The point is, there must be some days that they let people play and frolic on the deck of this old World War II ship. I think that's fantastic. And there is the Harbour Hopper. It's an amphibious vehicle, and it is a tourist boat. What it does is take people around the streets of Halifax, and then it takes them through the harbor. I don't know what it costs. I went over to the ticket office and it was already closed. But that seems like it might be an interesting thing to do. Maybe on my last day, the Harbour Hopper. The local people kind of laugh about the Harbour Hopper, but I think it might be kind of fun. Well, check it out. This is the propeller from the Sackville, which is the ship that we just saw in the harbor. Canada's first and only. Now, if you're the only anything, isn't it kind of assumed you're the first? Do you ever get a funny feeling that somebody's watching you? You know, almost like someone's looking over your shoulder. And here comes some kayaks and a sailboat. And we can see the ferry off there in the distance. That ferry is pretty amazing. It only costs $2.50 Canadian. You can go all the way across the harbor, spend a few hours, and then if you get it within 2 hours, that same $2.50 will get you back. And it's $2.50 Canadian, which is like a nickel in our money. And there's its partner ferry right over there. Look at that. There's a plane or a helicopter. What is that? It's a helicopter over there. Wow. Look how low that is. It's coming back. It's buzzing the harbor. Look at that. One leaving and one coming. If you look at my video from February, you'll see that Craig Blake was the ferry that I traveled on across the harbor. And here's a guy that makes paintings with spray cans.
You got it on.
And that's going to do it for me. I have one more night in Halifax tomorrow. to try a few other things. I don't know, I think I've taken it all in. I don't have a vehicle, so there's a lot of places I can't get to. But I've been up and down the boardwalk. I've tried a lot of restaurants. I went to the Citadel. I understand there's a park down the way. I might go there tomorrow, or I might actually try that Harbour Hopper. I'll look into it. In any case, we have one more day, so you can look for that video. Thank you for watching, for liking the video, for giving me the thumbs up as always, and most of all, thanks for subscribing to the Average Me channel.